Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bare Knuckle 3, the director's cut.
Are the streets finally safe again?
That's because before we move on to the main experience, I'm going to skip the cutscenes, in fact, because these cutscenes were butchered and censored in the American version. However, there is an exclusive bad ending in the American version, because it was actually added in by Sega of America, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So basically...
I'm guessing we're going to skip ahead and see that bad ending, and then actually get to the actual game.
Fortunately, Streets of Rage 3 has a level select code that you can use, and in fact I'm trying to do it right now if I remember correctly. There you go. Now if I go back, never mind. It's in this screen that it happens.
So I guess we'll get to see the final boss
there you go.
early on.
Now it has the stage select there in the options, so I can just select stage 5. Basically, if you go into stage select 5 as on easy mode, the game will not go past this. So go ahead.
Mr. X.
I forgot to voice Mr. X.
But this is the first time we voiced. This is the first time we voiced stuff.
Welcome to my humble abode.
No. In the first game, he does mention about.
Time. Tell me, Axel, what kept you?
Remember, try an Al Capone voice, Joe, but since he's clearly meant to be a kind of Al Capone-ish.
All right then. I'm voicing the current city administration.
That's better.
Some more dependable subjects. Starting with the chief of police. What have you done with him?
That face.
I executed him.
Relax. He's in a safe place. Awaiting your rescue attempt. Why don't you come and join me?
Again with this, Mr. X. We already know how this is gonna go.
Alright, so the basic gist of it is... let's go through stage 5 and
I love this. We are literally starting our playthrough with the final boss.
Well, that's the thing, Joe, but this is a trick final boss, so don't worry. We'll see exactly how we get to this point when we get to Bare Knuckle 3. Yeah, as you did you notice what Axel said? Did you notice what Axel said? He said Bare Knuckle. In the Japanese version, it says Grasshopper. Go ahead.
So basically, audience, welcome to our very first in medias res playthrough. Jova's favorite.
Honestly, I think it kind of works for the better.
My in media res is actually for a good cause, so Jova's fine with it.
Yeah, true. This one actually works. Like, I'm interested to see how we got to
and look at that, guys. Look at Axel's new yellow shirt that that's like America drew for him.
As I did some research, I noticed it's actually based on the American cover of the first game. So if I had to guess, Blaze. I don't remember actually, but I guess that Blaze also has a white dress in this game.
I haven't played much for the American version in a while, actually. So,
but again, well, even so, at least for Axel, it is clearly based on that, which again still bothers me because it's again once again it's the whole Kirby should be of a different color being plagued Kirby for the first couple of games.
As you can see, though, Streets of Rage 3 is basically just Streets of Rage 2 again. They didn't really, unlike with the second game, they didn't really do any major changes. They basically just stick with the formula. And it didn't really do that much to change it. So basically, if you love Streets of Rage 2 and you just want more of the same, Streets of Rage 3 gets that done.
Also, Electra.
Remember, Joe, these are the American names.
No, I know. It's just that interesting naming. Like.
Alright.
Power up!
Alright. Quite a lot of mooks before. Unlike the first game, unlike with the first game, he really throws a lot of mooks at us before he gets off his ass.
I guess he figured he might as well try and win through battle of attrition.
But yeah, clearly this is clearly a throwback to the climax of the first game.
Look at
him. My video thing. Can you give me a time?
Go to 5.
Look at him. He's even doing the same seated pose as before.
These ultra villainy. Alright, almost there. Damn.
Wow.
Alright, finally. But here's the twist. This Mr. X is a robot. Robo-X.
Oh, snap.
Yes, basically... Go ahead.
Also, well, you're almost done. We're almost there, Dweebs. And go.
Basically, if you get to stage 5 in the Western version on easy mode, the game instead of the game will have technically this Mr. X always turns out to be a robot regardless. It's just that the game will end here if you're playing on easy mode. But yeah, turns out, unlike with the first game where Mr. X returned to life for reasons that are never properly explained, turns out the Mr. X that returns in this game is not the real Mr. X. Turns out Mr. X did indeed die at the end of Streets of Rage 2. The Mr. X in this game is actually a robot duplicate.
Are you sure it doesn't have his brain in the jar?
Yeah, what is it with Sega and their weird liking of having characters turn out to be robots? That one of the endings you get in Shadow the Hedgehog.
And keep in mind, the Yakuza team actually used this as a major plot point for the foundational binary domain, one of their side IPs.
Alright.
Stage 5 clear.
Yay.
So let's see the bad ending.
And then Axel died.
Go ahead,
All that effort, and you only defeated my stand-in.
Wow.
You have not discovered the location of my hostage. And while I have him, Axel is fought to be a criminal. You play this game like a beginner. You'll have to do better than this to defeat Mr. X.
We must try hard. We must try harder, friends. We can't let this maniac take control of the city.
Yeah, play a better difficulty, dipshit.
So it turns out.
And guess what? The real Mr. X is still alive, apparently. However, this ending is not canon, so it doesn't matter.
You know, this would be like if Persona 5 ended after the Madarame boss fight, and the Phantom Thieves all turned to you and said, "No, this is too easy. Play it on insane difficulty."
Believe it or not, Dweebs, this was way more common than you think back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention, his dialogue was very much like Karai in the Tournament Fighters Mega Drive version of TMNT. Like, you only defeated my clone. Alright, now we're playing Bare Knuckle III, the director's cut.
Casualties 30,000.
Alright, so here's the actual intro. Completely.
It's the year 19XX. What are we, on Mega Man time?
Right now you're watching the Japanese intro translated.
This element emits a massive amount of radiation as it decays. Harnessed as a weapon, this element caused the worst disaster in history.
So disastrous that even destroyed the narration screen.
Axel.
So what does this have to do with us, I wonder?
Bare Knuckle III.
There you go. Basically, this is a Bare Knuckle III director's cut. It's actually a ROM hack made by fans that restores deleted content, aside from also translating the Japanese version.
So, check out these clippings. An enormous Rakushin explosion in Wood Oak City has left 30,000 dead and 80,000 wounded. Sources reveal that a large cache of the chemical has vanished from Syndicate-operated Killy Research Institute. Are they responsible for this crime? Mysteriously, General Petrov has been missing since the devastating event. Is there a cabal to start a conflict between the Lima nations? We have been assigned these two cases, Axel.
Okay, relax, game. This is not Metal Gear.
Yeah, that was Blaze. So Axel Stone, registered as the police officer leading the Rakushin case, a martial arts police fielding, a special investigations officer co-leading the Rakushin case, a judo expert.
Yay! Axel's back with the police.
Sammy Hunter, Adam's younger brother, he heard about the case and wants to help out. And Dr. Zen is an Syndicate researcher. He made himself into a cyborg following a failed experiment. So basically, Zan was actually a scientist working for the Syndicate, except when he realized how evil they were, what tipped you off, dipshit? He decided to leave, turn himself into a cyborg, and join our heroes.
To beat the shit out of them, not even joking.
So, and I guess Adam just decided, you know what, guys, I'm retiring. Maybe if we have a fourth venture, maybe call me back for that. But for now, I leave it in my little brother's capable hands.
Alright, so here's the opening cutscene. Rakushin will explode. Urgent that you come. Location is South Pier. Hold on, let me read a bit. Location is South Pier. Where? Yeah, you said that already.
I know, we can read.
All right, cutscene now.
Oh shit! Oh, are we too late?
Jova.
Whew, we just got here, just in time. We barely stopped Wood Oak's second tragedy from happening.
Tips.
Ooh, that was a close call.
You're reading Blaze's note earlier, so might as well. Go ahead.
If we'd been 3 seconds later, I shiver just thinking about it.
Blaze, can you send a message to Adam?
I guess I'll
There was
be
a
Adam.
Rakushin bomb here, just like Zan, the scientist from the Syndicate, told us. Dismantle it carefully and start looking for the second one.
It doesn't look like we have any time to rest. Those punks are coming this way.
There's no time to waste.
No time to waste. No time to waste.
So basically, yeah, that's the plot. Stop a bomb from exploding. Yeah, the game. For as much as the game tries to throw big intros and cutscenes in your face, when you get right down to
hey,
it,
Garnet.
yeah, Garnet, interesting. Right, and Vice. Yeah, for as much as the game tries to, you know, throw all these bell and whistles, cutscenes, and explosions and bombs at you, really, when you narrow it down, the plot still boils down to the exact same thing. The Syndicate is up to no good. Stop them. It literally, it still boils down to the same. It's just they just made it overly complicated this time.
Hold on. So one's called Garnet, another's called Rubby. Huh.
Well,
it's also the fact that they wanted to showcase, oh, this is the third game in the series, we want to raise the stakes, so, oh, here's a bomb that has killed 30,000 people and all, you know. This shit's important, guys.
what I'm also using Streets of Rage 3. Streets of Rage 3 also has another cheat code that you can use that allows you to start the game with 9 lives. Which will make the game easier to get through. Not that the game is hard or anything, but it's great for if you want to just do a casual playthrough where you just relax and beat the game at your own pace. There you go.
There you go, ground up.
So yeah, as you can see, the gameplay is basically just more of the same from the previous game. Like, so if that's all you want, this game delivers that in spades. Also, Galcia. So Galcia is basically the recurring mook of this series. So, nice to see. All right. Oh, you might be wondering what that meter saying "okay" is.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Different company, Jova.
Basically, there's
Snappy's got one.
Basically, the one new thing this game has in terms of combat is an extra super move that you can pull off. That in true beat 'em up fashion, yeah, what he just said, takes away life from you. However, if you wait till the OK meter fills up, you'll be able to do that move without losing life. So basically, it's the game's way of encouraging you not to overuse the super move. Basically.
I love how the manager enemy that showed up before was literally called Gold.
And yet, amazingly, he has some of the most health out of any of these mooks, amazingly.
Oh, and now we have Dagger, Jova, and Katana. That's
a light punch.
That's the thing too. Once again, much like with the second game, each type of enemy has a naming motif. In the case of the executives, it's metals: gold, bronze, silver. So again, it goes back to how the series usually does things. Like each specific type of mook has a naming motif. There you go. Katana.
Oh, you got her back.
Yeah, and here's another type of mook, motorcycle mooks.
Because that's not annoying at all.
Oh no, the katana died!
It's like if you can just eat a piece of apple and you're fine.
Well, I mean, at least it's not the die katana.
Oh goody. Alright, this enemy, if I remember correctly, was censored in the Western version. Because let's just say this enemy is a bit
particular.
Particular, let's just say. The boss specifically. Hold on, let me first take care of the mooks until he comes out of his boat.
Yeah, seriously, these enemies with motorcycle like give you no frame of
There he is.
of terror.
Let me see if he comes. Like, I think it's right after I defeat these 3 mooks that he. Good job, Axel. So yeah, as you can see, the exploit is still here intact. Oh, and now instead of Y signal, they're just called signal and ice. Ice and signal, that doesn't really have a common motif. Signal and ice. I guess they ran out of motifs. Alright. One more.
Where does he pick up those mooks from?
The grocery store. I don't honestly, Jova. Again, this was something that this game showcased about with the Syndicate. Is so persuasive they can have mooks by the millions.
I'll say.
I guess might as well catch it. Yeah.
There you go. Pedro's chicken.
I think it's
So,
now
what-
that I think it's now that he jumps off the boat after.
Yeah, it's not going away. So if I recall correctly, yeah, it's now.
There he
we
is.
go.
Yeah,
Ash.
and the way this guy's dressed and the way he moves, yeah, it's quite interesting. He kind of looks like yeah, the Yakuza team probably took cues from stuff like this from old Sega games. Like
So I'm curious. So gameplay.
and he cries when you beat him.
Oh.
What
Wow,
a
it doesn't
baby.
even bother to arrest him.
Yeah, but and now all of a sudden we're in the back of a street. What? Okay. How the hell does this city work? We literally went from a pier to an alley.
Well, to be fair, we probably got a tip and traveled here.
I guess. Whatever.
Trust me, that is not the weirdest thing you can find city-wise.
Oh, hi Shiva.
Oh, it's you again.
Wow, we literally just started a game and already we're fighting Shiva.
Yeah.
Again, per game, the stakes are higher or some shit like that.
I
I'll
guess.
say.
Alright then. The problem is, since this is technically still the first boss, they can't have Shiva be too hard. So he's
Second
basically
boss.
he's basically a push. Yeah, technically second boss. He's basically a pushover. There you go.
So, so is there anything new brought to the table gameplay-wise with the characters? Aside
Not-
from, the super
Well,
moves.
well, as you can see, Zan is essentially the new interesting thing added. This badass grandpa with a cyborg body, and I admit he is the most fun to play, at least for me, among all the characters.
Is it because of his range and abilities?
Well, even in general.
Oh god,
Oh my-
the jet guys from the second game are back. God damn it.
They're here for you with a vengeance.
All right, that was the end. Now
you
cut
know the-
cutscene.
Okay.
You don't know
Damn
what
it!
you can join.
You picked a fight and then ran like a coward. Come back here, you bastard! Language, young child.
Hurry, the second Rakushin bomb will explode soon. Babes?
Babes? Oh, okay.
Whatever. At Atlas, the disco in the shopping district.
Of course.
Oh my god. Okay, Atlas. I know I had some issues with. I had a few issues with some bits of Persona 5 here and there, but blowing up a whole city because of it—that's a bit extreme.
Yes.
I love Persona 5. So why are you doing this, man?
It's almost as if Atlas is actually a common word, Babes.
Well, actually, Dwebs, it was Atlas with an A, not with an U.
Exactly. They changed the letters so no one would suspect them.
Sure.
Cyclone.
Cyclone.
Yes.
Oh boy.
God, these enemies are annoying.
Hard to hit. Have quite a hitbox on them.
Oh, interesting thing to note that I'm reading here. Apparently, Ash was technically dummied out in the Western release, but they didn't bother to delete, his character in the game code. And if you have a given answer, you can actually pull it out to use him in the versus mode.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, this game actually has the director's cut actually does have that too. The director's cut does have a code to allow you to play as some of the enemy characters. Like it's just a sprite change. Obviously, it doesn't change anything in the story, but it's nice to have it.
There you go. Now, but I actually can read now since it's also coded here. The North American version of Streets of Rage 3 was hit hard by, change in localization. It not only inflates the difficulty levels by 1 level each, but also locks you out of the last 2 stages if you're playing on easy, which is normal in Japanese version. The Japanese version is not such mockery, not even on its own easy difficulty, which would be easier than easier in the North American version if it existed. The storyline is also heavily bowdlerized to remove the fear of a war storyline in favor of more general lawlessness and disorder in the city, with many dialogue changes resulting in some dialogue making little to no sense. In addition, the female enemies were given jackets to look less revealing. Axel, Blaze, and Skate swapped out their colors for gender neutrality, seriously. And Ash was dummied out. He still exists in the game's code, but you had to use a game enhancer to use him. This may be among the reasons why the Sega Vintage Collection for the Streets of Rage trilogy features all the regional versions of the game. So I guess in a way the Japanese version was released in some fashion.
Well, the Japanese version was released in, for example, Sonic Mega Collection Plus does have the Streets of Rage trilogy. The problem is, it only works if you're playing the Japanese version of it. Or if you...
Well, I just read here, it says the Sega Vintage Collection for the Streets of Rage trilogy features all the regional versions of the game, as in both the American and the Japanese.
The best way to play these games... is the first game. By all means, there's nothing wrong with the localization of the first game. So by all means, get the M2 Vintage Collection. M2 are the best at emulating this stuff. Don't get any Backbone ports. As for 2 and 3, I recommend playing ROM hacks on an emulator because, while M2's emulations of 2 and 3 are still fantastic, and yes, they do allow you to play Bare Knuckle 3, it's still in Japanese. So unless you understand Japanese, you might as well play the director's cut like I am.
Also fancy these collides.
I know, right? Also, I love this music track.
Again, Yuzo Koshiro returns and it shows. Even the music that we heard at the beginning for the final horde mode against Mr. X, Robo X,
also
felt climactic.
Do not be alarmed, but outside this dancing club, we were in fact fighting a kangaroo.
We were, yeah.
So let me get this straight, Pedro. Mr. X is now hiring even kangaroos.
Yes.
I mean, sure.
I guess at this point, might as well throw caution to the wind, considering how crazy these feats are.
Again, the Syndicate is so charismatic or persuasive with money that they can hire like millions of people to their cause.
And now they can even hire the Animal Kingdom to do their evil bidding with their money. Does their corruption know no bounds?
Guess not.
What's next? That's next. They'll be convincing cats to work for them? Dogs?
Mass hysteria.
Or worse, corgis. Then they'll
infiltrate. We have Electra and Fundra.
I can see why the American release gave them jacket, because that gear may be mistaken for BDSM stuff, like in the Catwoman movie. The point is, they're the bad guys.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I don't think the player was supposed to empathize with these people.
Hello?
Okay.
And look at that, guys. The annoying acrobatic women from the first game are back.
Wow. A lot of nostalgia.
Yasha and Onihime.
Complete with their backflips and everything.
Although, is it really nostalgia when the stuff is only like a few years old at most?
Well,
in that kind of sense, more like catharsis. Like again, when a game series is like a trilogy, including elements from the first game, it's not necessarily just for nostalgia, but like giving a sort of a closure. In a sense, look how much we have journeyed, the things we have seen, stuff like that. A couple of franchises do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, they're just knocked out. Those chilling screams totally weren't a sign of
Yes,
death.
particularly from the metal punches of the robot grandpa.
Yes,
Wow, they're
still
way-
alive after
Ooh, a
that.
calling card.
What? A clue.
To find the general, come to the construction site in District K.
Yeah. What's that supposed to mean?
We have just
We're
received
news
news.
about General Pedro's abduction. We have obtained information about police officer Axel Stone. He's part of a criminal organization responsible for the kidnapping.
What?
We believe this shit.
But that's bullshit! And literally, isn't this sort of what happened in
Well,
a
the
previous
National Police
story?
Agency denies it. Our sources, not created, tell us the apprehension of Axel Stone is only a matter of... Wow, this is...
There's
way
no
more
time for this
topical.
now. Let's focus on saving the general.
Okay, is that all? Is that all you're gonna say? There's no time to waste?
That's all. That's basically his dialogue in a nutshell, too. Yes.
I guess, have a straightforward goal.
But-
Also, he literally has dash marks on his shoes because his shoes can turn into rollerblades. That is
but
cool.
damn, like I love how the news is like, some anonymous tip told us, but Axel Stone, did this. We totally believe it now. He freaking guilty. Go get him. Like, damn.
Wow.
Oh man. Apparently, people in this game are just that dumb. They're so easily influenced by what people tell them.
Again, it's like it's a good thing that nothing like this happens in today's real world.
Totally.
Nasty. There's literally an enemy called Nasty.
So it works for Jack Black in Neverending Story 3.
Apparently. But yeah.
Okay,
fuck.
Zan,
Alright. That actually does give me a choice. One cool thing, one improvement that this game does bring to the table. I don't remember the second game already had it, but unlike the first game, if you fall in a chasm, you will not lose an entire life. You'll just lose a bit of life, and the character will climb out of it. So the game is more forgiving in that manner. To be fair.
Technology has come a far way now. You can fall and be fine.
There you go. See another example of it happening.
Still didn't justify for you to jump in, Axel.
Alright. But that's the thing. Again, that's the thing too. For as much as the game pretends otherwise, yeah, the plot is not the plot is negligible, really.
Not only that, but hasn't the whole Society Against Axel thing also been done before? Granted, maybe he wasn't framed for a crime, but I recall that he actually quit the force because the society was pretty much corrupt and against him.
I don't remember that. Well, that is the thing. That's also another thing. Sorry. I don't think Firefight was doing this around the same time, but the equivalent of Axel in Firefight, Cody, eventually, becomes like a criminal and decides to basically ask the police to lock him out for the benefit of everyone because he thinks he's too much of a danger to society, despite his friendship with Guy and Hagar, Sorry. But so I do wonder if Sega wanted to potentially do something.
Yes, Axel, punch Laura in the boobs until she dies.
If
If
Sega was...
I want to set piece. Alright, so for this
Oh,
section, this
God.
thing is pursuing us, so we have to try our best to destroy all the walls named Wall.
You Sega Sonic the Hedgehog again.
Yeah, so basically,
Punch harder.
don't worry.
Hold on, how did we punch the wall behind that wall?
Because the Prometheus school of running away from things is best kept.
So basically,
But
try our best.
somehow that defies physics too.
Try our best to go through all the walls, so you can escape the.
Come on.
There you go.
Remember, Joe, it's the same reason why Pepsi Man doesn't go left or right.
The way it
or
works is,
something.
if the best way to do it is to have someone punch that thing and keep it away, because if a thing like that comes towards you, punch it, because clearly that's the correct course of action.
Yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure they teach us all the time in those health and safety seminars.
Everyone should know this.
Everything is best resolved by punching what's coming towards you.
Yeah, I didn't mention this before, but there's also a general. The Syndicate also kidnapped a general that we must save because he's General Petrov, and if we don't save him, we don't get the best ending.
Oof.
Well, don't you see, Tio? When in doubt, punch it out.
Yeah, that's another thing about this game. This time, if you're counting the Western exclusive bad ending, this game has 4 endings.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, now we just have to fight a bulldozer.
Yes.
There we go. Bonk.
Huh. That was easier than I thought it would be.
Indeed. Oh yeah, another thing that I didn't mention yet is that items, and by items I mean weapons, work differently with Zan. Zan doesn't actually use weapons. If you pick up any kind of item with him, it turns into a key energy ball that he can throw at the enemies.
Okay.
Someone in the production team was a fan of Dragon Ball and wanted an excuse
Actually,
to...
I did check the is a reference to another specific manga. Let me get it right in a second, because I do remember looking for this. There you go, Cyborg Grandpa G.
Alright.
I'll give you a link just for you to see. But yeah, it's mostly based on that. But no, the idea, it's regardless of the cyborg part or not, the idea of an old person with these super cool and beats to see a lot of people is actually very common in Japanese media.
Oh, I'm aware of that. It's more so the fact that he turns weapons into fucking key energy. That
Amazing. Again, like I said, technology has come far these days.
All right.
I guess.
Oh, look, the iconic steel tube
Pipe.
or pipe, rather. Yeah. However, again, if I pick it up, it turns into energy.
Amazing.
Tin pipe. See, there you go. There you go. It even has its own HP. Tin pipe. There you go. Too. It's not. It's called tin. Apparently, the official name is tin pipe.
Okay.
Because that's what I call an energy ball. Tin pipe. Somebody smoking something for a tin pipe when they came up with that?
Probably.
Yes.
I love Garcia's pose with the dagger. Like, I'll cut you, man. I'll cut you. Oh, great. More Electras.
Oh.
Good job, Axel.
Oh.
And yeah, just like in the first game, they keep doing this shit where they kneel and you can't do anything to them until they rise again. It's annoying.
Also, Yuzo, I love your music, but I don't know what is going on here.
There we go. Tiger.
She'll be fine.
So yeah, this new guy, this kind of stronger mook shows up. His name is Tiger.
Looks like a rejected Virtua Fighter character.
He does.
Alright, let's try our best to... The big difference between Tiger and the other mooks is that he can guard.
There we go.
There
Just
you
yate him out of the platform, there you go.
Alright, let's continue. I love how blurry the city background is.
Yeah, it's like a... No, I argue it's not even a JPEG, it's even worse. Oh, there's a...
And look
Axel?
at that, guys. Break. We're fighting this guy named Break.
It just looks like Axel, but how could this be?
Yeah, but notice he has blue gloves, Tail.
And he actually has a slightly... Actually, well, one thing that side materials and crossovers noted, he also has a lighter, darker... There you go, his skin turns darker, showcasing that he's not properly
Either
human.
he's a twin or he's a cyborg.
Or he's a clone.
Well, a combination.
There you go,
He's
see, you
basically
you notice that little bit of smoke? Yeah, he's a robot.
Yeah.
This game, basically, this game's fetish is robot duplicates.
pretty much.
Again,
I wouldn't be
this is where Shadow the
surprised.
Hedgehog got his inspiration.
Once again, also, the Yakuza team took this entire concept, making an entire game based around it. Binary domain. It's a shame not many people have played it, because it's actually really that good.
here's the thing with Sega games: either you have a metal counterpart, a robotic counterpart, or a dark counterpart, or all three of the above.
Yeah, even before Shadow the Hedgehog, there was also Metal Sonic, technically.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah, but they weren't trying to pass off Metal Sonic as like Sonic,
All
or
right.
it was always a robot or something.
a robot. Hey, old man, I think you're still working for them. The general isn't anywhere in sight. And there was no bomb in the disco either. I knew we shouldn't have trusted a Syndicate scientist.
Is that so?
Eyes closed for dramatic
Think
effect.
about what you're saying. Sam's put his own life in jeopardy by betraying the Syndicate.
Guys,
No,
does it
he's
sound like
relying
that
on
thing's
us.
about-
That's
Guys, does it sound like that thing's about
On.
to explode? Enough bickering. Look down here instead.
Seems those punks are looking for a fight. Whatever.
Okay.
And there you go, Teo. That's the high point of the conflict between our characters, Teo. They briefly wonder, maybe this scientist who's over to the Syndicate is betraying us. And then Blaze is like, nah, that's stupid. And
Moving on.
moving on.
Alright then, tune in for the next part of this ever so epic quest.
See ya.
Yeah.
yeah.